Hello and welcome to Salty Power with Dan and Liz. Today we're going to be playing what's my favorite game of 2016 so far. This is Dark Souls 3. Absolutely beautiful game, great gameplay mechanics. I've been having a ton of fun with this. And this is an interesting game because it's a very difficult game. So it's a game that not everyone gets to actually play and beat and enjoy. And so hopefully I can be doing a little bit of a service here by helping the people who aren't acclimated to the controls or just don't have the money to buy this yet, to be able to see the game and really delve in and enjoy this world.
By the transitory lens.
So, what are you going to do different this time? Because you have already played through this game.
One thing I've been thinking about is playing a caster, but I think that's going to make the game extremely hard. I've never actually played as a caster in any of these games. So far I've only played warriors and knights. I like having a big shield in front of me, even though the shields aren't as great in this game as they have been in previous entries into the Souls series. Having that shield is a big deal. Being able to actually take a hit has been very helpful so far, so not having that is going to be a big challenge.
So when you were saying about playing a caster, that reminded me when I first started up a game of Skyrim. The very first time I played it, I wanted to be a magic user, and so I mean, this was when we had it on PS3. We didn't even have a good gaming computer, really. So I didn't play that file for long because, you know, we got a gaming computer and we basically left the PS3 version behind.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, even in Skyrim, using magic is harder than, I would say, sword and board.
Oh yeah, I think that usually using magic is very hard to master, but can be very powerful in most games. I think the strength of magic in Dark Souls lays in jolly cooperation, which, for the uninitiated, is just a term for co-op play in Dark Souls. I think it's definitely easier to be a caster if you've got a buddy there to take the hits for you.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the whole, JRPG, what's the word? The way people play JRPGs, they have different roles and different characters fulfill those roles and make up for what weaknesses the others have.
Party balance.
Right, exactly.
My favorite example of party balance is The Hobbit, where there were 13 dwarf fighters and one halfling rogue.
Yeah, I was fixing to mention that.
To be fair, they had a human wizard who was apparently very high level.
Oh, yeah.
So, we have just been kind of watching the origin story here play out. The story of all these games is kind of convoluted, and I think they do that on purpose, but it kind of is a cycle that repeats. There are always 4 or 5 characters who have these especially powerful souls, and there's always this champion who has to go find these 4 creatures, slay them, acquire their power, and do what's called linking the bonfires. And it's kind of never really told what linking the bonfires does. There are people who have theories about it, but I think the story is intentionally left up to your imagination on some level. Alright, so we've got sorcerers and pyromancers. Let me see, just looking at the strength here. The pyromancer has a better balance of intelligence to faith, so I think that's what we actually want to do if we're playing caster.
You know that I would choose a pyromancer out of the two. Anytime I'm playing a magic user, fire is always my favorite element.
I'm going to name it after your D&D character.
Oh, so cool.
Alright, we're going to be young, of course. Of course we're going to be young. I've seen a lot of people making really ugly characters for this just as a joke. I mean, it's kind of a joke to go through the character creation at all, if we're being honest, because you're wearing armor for the whole game. So for the most part, you don't even see your character. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. We're going to make her... Oh boy. Some of these scare me.
Yeah, I would probably go with the default one.
Okay, we'll play a commoner.
So
We'll go default build also.
I'm kind of excited to have the opportunity to talk about my favorite D&D character that I've ever played. She was a sorceress, and obviously she loved to use fire, as I previously explained, but she was something else because I think the thing that made her my favorite character that I've ever played, she was an elf, by the way, but I think the thing that made her my favorite character to play was when she got her bionic leg. That kind of just sealed the deal for me because I thought she was so much cooler with a bionic leg.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was not even upset about her losing her leg. So the encounter kind of went like this. We had a Magus. Wasn't he a Magus?
He was a Magus.
Okay. And he had an ability where he could charge himself up with electricity, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And we were sent to fight a dragon for the first time. I mean, what D&D story is complete without a dragon?
Right.
So
it was a young dragon, to be fair.
Right. So we go, and he formulates this plan that he's going to distract the dragon. No, someone else would distract the dragon. I'm sorry. And then he would charge himself up with electricity and shock the dragon at... I don't know. It sounds like crazy complicated, but basically he climbed up on the roof of this barn or shed or shack or something, and he jumps off. He charges himself up with electricity, and he jumps off and rolls a crit fail, I believe. Right?
I don't think it was a crit, but it was definitely not good enough to land on the back of a moving dragon.
And the DM is like, well, you roll off of the roof and roll right off the back of the dragon when you do this. So basically, I'm sitting there in front of the dragon, distracting it while his character rolls off the back of the dragon and completely fails. So the dragon sees me and just basically eats my leg, and I'm sitting here bleeding out, and so we have to take my character and go get her bionic leg. But I have this awesome story to tell, this awesome bionic leg to be like, oh yeah, I got it because I fought a dragon. So
you're lucky you got that leg. It took all the party's gold.
It did. Yeah, it did. I had to do some sure enough convincing to get everyone to throw in their gold so I could have a bionic leg. I basically had to beg and plead for people to let me have a leg again.
You also had to do a critical success on your persuade check against the guy who was actually creating your bionic leg.
Right, because it actually, I believe that it was going to cost more than what we actually gave him.
Oh, tremendously more.
Right.
But you managed to roll the sympathy card there. Roll the sympathy card. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I have a tendency of mashing together 2 or more catchphrases into a new catchphrase that makes no sense at all. Okay, so this creature is a lot of fun right here. I've seen people fighting this thing, and I've seen a few people actually beating this thing, but they're doing it the wrong way. They're going about this all wrong. The Soul series has a tendency to throw really huge monsters at you early on, just to really crush your hopes and dreams right from the start. But they actually often provide you with a little bit of a cheat to help balance the playing field here. So if we can survive this initial assault, then this guy's actually not that hard to deal with.
I have to say, out of all the monsters that I've seen in this game, that is one of the most... I mean, actually, like, that is the only beautiful one.
This is true.
I was going to say that is the most beautiful one, but...
Oh, right. Compared to the corpse piles and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, one interesting thing about this game is essentially everything here is some form of undead. Alright, so here's how you're supposed to deal with this guy. If I've still got his attention... Come on, buddy. Come on, baby. That's how I call my dogs. Come on, baby. Come on, boys. Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Come here, stinker. Come here.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, buddy.
Okay.
Oh, hey, you know what? This is what I get for running my mouth. I'm totally about to lose to this thing.
Yeah. Oh, could you knock it off?
He's just supposed to roll right off, right here. There we go. Boom.
Oh, awesome.
I believe I can fly.
That is so cool.
So yeah, there's the easy way to deal with that guy. Ooh, and here we have our first bonfire. Bonfires in this game are your points of safety. They're your checkpoints. They're the spots that you can go back to and fast travel. And they actually reset the world as well, so they're kind of a double-edged sword.
So, knocking monsters off the edge of a cliff is just like... I mean, that's gotta be the best thing ever, because it's just so much luck, and it's like... I've seen people, like, legitimately do this to, like, really, really difficult... it's always what they call trash enemies, right? That are out in the world. The bosses are actually like in a chamber that like you have to go into, correct?
Normally, some of the bosses actually surprise you. Case in point is Pursuer in Dark Souls 2. You just climb up a ladder and he just kind of ambushes you.
Wow.
You don't have to fight him there, but a lot of people choose to because it's a little easier to beat him if you can beat him right there.
Okay.
But you were correct. Normally you have to step through kind of a fog gate.
Right, yeah.
And there's a big to-do. It's interesting because some bosses can actually be knocked over the ledge. Our friend Alan has been playing this game, and he got so mad at me because the boss that he had a lot of trouble with, I actually defeated the first try, and I'd forgotten how I even beat him, but it was just that. He has a move where he jumps away from you, and this guy had just jumped right off a cliff.
Oh my goodness. And it's funny because the AI is actually really good in this game, so it was, I mean, you know, it was just a mistake, just luck, you know.
Some enemies are actually, I mean, they put a lot of thought into this game.
That's what I'm saying.
So the ones that can do that, normally they programmed them with that in mind. They're supposed to be an easy mode for you. Okay, first boss. This is another interesting thing. Dark Souls 1 and 2 both do this to you. Right in your starting zone, right in the tutorial, they throw a boss at you. So there's that. We're just going to take this here. Don't mind me.
Have we decided what the thing is that actually, like, is it like at half health that he does? The thing that makes him...
His phase 2, yeah. He goes into phase 2 at about half health.
Do we know what it actually is that he, like...
I've heard the word for what this is, but I've already forgotten it.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting because, like I said, they try to leave the story kind of ambiguous. So a lot of the things you learn about this world, you only learn from reading item descriptions and things like that. The game doesn't just come right out and tell it to you. But there are a number of smaller enemies around the world that can actually do exactly this. And you can get into some really bad situations. I mean, right here we've got plenty of room to bob and weave and hopefully not get absolutely trashed by his power attacks. But there are some spots where you can just get No, absolutely trashed.
Uh-oh.
Okay, sorcerer, very hard already. Let's try to use our axe approaching him so that we've got more magic to play with going in. It's interesting too because did you notice the glowy red eyes on the thing that came out of his back?
Yeah, I did.
There are a lot of enemies in this game that are kind of like elite enemies from other games. They've got the glowing red eyes, and they're much stronger than the other enemies you find around them.
Right. Don't the things? Oh, they have the wings, and their eyes glow sometimes, and they turn extra
those
evil.
Birds.
Yes.
The birds are awful. Even the regular birds.
Oh,
Ouch.
man. What a cheap shot.
If I had only been paying attention. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, dude didn't even have courtesy to wait till you were paying attention.
Oh, I don't have to yank the thing out of him this time. That's good. Just take your time. No hurry. No rush. Just, you know. We can wait until Thanksgiving or, you know, just whenever. Ugh. I mean, no rush. Just whenever it's convenient for you. You can just stay back there, have a nice nap. Woo!
Okay, speaking of Thanksgiving, when we end up talking about Thanksgiving, I always like to mention that every time my side of the family gets together for Thanksgiving, I don't know if anybody else's family does this, but my family likes to argue about the fastest way to get to a particular place. And, I mean, I don't understand it. I mostly ignore it, but is that just, I mean, is that a Southern thing, or is it a, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's fairly common because there's an episode of This American Life where there's this like proper British lady who's talking about how that's one of the things you're never supposed to do because it's never an interesting conversation.
Just send them that
talk.
article.
She calls it road talk.
Or send it. Was that an article or was it an audio?
It was an episode of a radio show. Oh, we're so dead.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna die so much.
Yeah.
This was a fairly easy boss battle if I had a decent shield. However, I did not. I also have a very small health pool.
That's what I was fixing to say. Okay.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. We have vanquished our first boss. We're going to keep going from here, and hopefully you guys will stick around and explore the world of Dark Souls 3 with us. Thanks for watching. Leave us a like. Let us know what other games you'd like to see us play, and come back again.